Well, off and running, Joe Biden accepts his party's nomination for president. What's next for him and his vice presidential pick, Kamala Harris, as the Republicans get set to hold their convention next week? And we bring in political insider Armstrong Williams, who joins us all the way across the pond by Skype from the UK this morning. You definitely get around. Good to see you, Armstrong.
Hello, Melanie.
So before we start talking about the DNC, since you are in the UK, can you tell us a little bit about what you're learning about that country's response to the coronavirus?
Well, one thing that's for certain, they're not caving into fear. They do not want to lose the character of their nation. You rarely see masks unless you're in a grocery store. And there's this calmness and serenity in this country. While they take the virus serious, they're not going to allow it to change their lifestyle, their freedom, and the way that they've lived in the past. I think it's incredible, an example of how to live during COVID-19.
All right, and you were also traveling internationally. What was it like to be a traveler? Did you feel safe?
Well, you know, I'm blessed. I travel a little different, so I have a little less security, and I didn't really experience that. I didn't experience that, but there's a 14-day quarantine coming from the United States. It's very difficult to enforce, but I did learn that there are some Americans who did check in hotels in the UK. They were kicked out because they were not quarantined 14 days in advance. So in hotels, they're enforcing rules.
Well, coronavirus certainly still a factor everywhere you go. A big theme, too, at the Democratic National Convention that wrapped up last night. And that convention had a very different tone to it. It was done virtually. Do you think Joe Biden hit all the right notes in his acceptance speech last night? And do you think this quieter kind of convention is going to provide that expected convention bounce?
I thought former Vice President Biden probably was one of the better speeches I've ever seen him give. I thought he hit the right themes, the right tones. It was not about President Trump, as all the past speakers had been during the week. He dealt with policy. He dealt with all the issues that Americans care about right now. Even though it was a script, I just thought he came off very well. Now, whether or not that is enough for people to change their votes, I get more excited about the Democratic ticket, that is a different story. But certainly he will get a bounce from his speech last night and from his convention this week.
And opponents have labeled the Biden-Harris ticket as radical left. Do you think that's an accurate description? How do you see it?
Now, that's a very good question, Melanie, because law and order is very important in this presidential election. How we balance businesses opening again and people returning to normalcy is very important. This argument about defunding the police is not going to work for most Americans, because you will create this solid majority that will go out. They won't tell you they're going to vote for Donald Trump, but they will. So Mrs. Harris's record is far to the left, but we'll see whether she's able to in her ideology on the issues that is more centrist, and she can appeal to a demographic outside of their base.
All right. Well, Armstrong, we will see you when you get back in the States after your quarantine. Safe travels to you, and thanks so much for joining us today. And you can watch the Armstrong Williams Show every Saturday morning at 10:30 right here on WJLA 24/7 News.